Hi, I'm Heather Mincieli, and I'm the president of the Carrollton Early Childhood PTA. We're celebrating International Women's Day, which is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural, and political achievements of women. We've reached out to several of our friends and colleagues to interview them about their experiences in creating a gender-equal world. Let's hear about it.
Hi, my name is Susan Doe Zuniga, and I am a lawyer by trade, but a children's book author by passion.
My name is Christy Rowden, and I serve at Evangel University in Springfield, Missouri as the Director of Student Activities.
Hi, my name is Aubrey Cowart, and I am a data scientist.
My name is Simi Abraham. I'm a board-certified pediatric dentist and the owner of Castle Hills Pediatric Dentistry.
Hi, my name is Jan Baker. I am a retired 30-year educator.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Lusia Fomuso. I am a pharmacist, a speaker, and a children's book author to the book Thank You, Essential Heroes.
Hi, I am Megan Miller, and I am the Director of College Counseling at Dwight Global.
Hi, I'm Susan Hanlon. I am the owner and teacher at Susan Hanlon Vocal Studio.
Hi, my name is Laurie Mincieli. I'm a political affairs officer at the United Nations in the Peace and Security Pillar.
Hi, my name is Anne, and I'm here to talk about feminism.
Feminism to me means a belief in true gender equality. And we need men and women to be feminists so that we can tackle some of the barriers to gender equality, like old-fashioned and traditional gender norms and roles. When we empower women to be successful, everyone benefits. We know this because countries that have female leaders have had fewer COVID deaths. And in my field, statistically, when women are involved in peace negotiations to end civil wars, these are proven to be more effective in keeping the peace and longer lasting than those agreements negotiated without women present.
Being a feminist to me means advocating for women's rights.
Feminism is really about supporting equal rights for other females. And whether that's your mom, your daughters, your friends, all of our female counterparts, and those who just don't have a voice, or you feel like you want to advocate for others who don't.
I think it means being proud of my voice as a woman and being active in giving and supporting other women's voices.
I think I view it pretty simply, being that women should have equal opportunity for job placement as well as equal opportunity for promotions within their given field, as well as equal pay for what they do.
Men and women have equal rights and opportunities. We have the choice to do whatever we want in life.
Really emphasizing the importance of lifting each other up and celebrating and cheering each other on as women.
It means striving for equality for everyone. Everyone, no matter their gender, race, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. And when I say equality, I mean equal access, equal rights, equal opportunity, equal representation, and equal pay.
So to me, feminism means is creating an opportunity for women to prove themselves about the stuff or the things they are capable to do by themselves.
Definitely my mother was a teacher and an administrator during a time where there weren't very many female administrators in the private school world. And I think seeing her have that strength and balance, being a leader in a professional setting and a mother really was incredibly inspirational, particularly since she did a lot of her work as a single mother.
I have been a pharmacist for a few years now, and the reason why I went into pharmacy is because there's so many wonderful, strong women in my life in the healthcare field, and I wanted to be part of that community.
Dr. Jennifer Glidden was fantastic. She was fabulous. She was a wonderful teacher and mentor and was my voice teacher in grad school at UNT. And she was such a warm, wonderful person who made us feel successful even when we weren't, and made us recognize what we had to offer the world as singers. And it really impacted me. And I definitely use a lot of what I learned even today as a business owner and running my own studio.
My parents inspired me to become a lawyer. They are immigrants, boat people, came over to the United States with practically nothing. And they've always emphasized that education is very important. And that's because they know that it will open up doors and opportunities for us.
Throughout my 30 years of education, I was very fortunate to have a lot of strong female leaders in my circle. In my organizations, I was a music teacher, so there were lots of organizations where women were in charge, because in education, the fortunate thing is you do see a lot of women in charge and running the show.
When I first started in this field, I was really inspired just by the belief in universal human rights, that all humans have inherent dignity and equal rights. I wanted to promote those rights, especially those of women, and also to promote a more peaceful world. As I got further into the field, I became really inspired by amazing female leaders that I learned about, like Lima Bowie, who helped end the Liberian Civil War in the 1990s, and more recently Malala, who has fought for education for girls. And both of these women have won Nobel Peace Prizes for their efforts.
There were certain circumstances where I wanted to see some changes with my work setting, but I could not. I had some limitations because I was not the work owner. So that kind of inspired me to open up my own business, because when I have my own business, I'm the boss. I can do the changes. I can do the way I want my office to run. So I have more of autonomy to make the judgments about my patients and the treatments and the scheduling, the front office, the back office. So I can run the business in the way I want it to be.
And I thought, what can I do for another job and to invest? And I thought, what better to invest in than myself? And so I purchased the initial franchise fee and became a franchised instructor. And for years, it was a very part-time job, but it is now my full-time gig as the owner of Jazzercise Carrollton, Texas. We have a studio with 38 classes a week and lots of wonderful female instructors.
Have I ever struggled as a woman in my business? Yes, I think, anytime you take a leadership role, very often in any community, as a woman, there are people who will try to speak over you, people who will marginalize or minimize your voice.
That is a big, of course. I struggle with being a female lawyer on the daily, and being a minority female lawyer at that, so I have more biases against me. I've been relegated to administrative tasks. I've been cut off in meetings. I've been given all the responsibilities because, Susan, she's a model minority, she's Asian, she'll just shut up and get it done because she's a hard worker.
One thing, I never gave up. I was persistent, even though there were certain limitations from the way people were seeing with my, I'm already married, I had kids, why should I go back to school? Or you have a work, you're settled down. Why should you want to stop everything and go back to school again? But it was in my mind that I wanted to become a pediatric dentist, and I never gave up on my dreams. I was persistent, even my circumstances were not that great, but I was persistent.
I feel like we have to, as women, bring more to the table, and we have to prove ourselves in ways that sometimes men don't have to.
During my time in grad school, I was the only woman in my cohort, and now, a non-zero number of years later, women are still woefully underrepresented in data science. Something like 18% of all data scientists identify as female.
In both higher education and in the religious field, a lot of times you do have men that are at the highest levels of those organizations. And I've been really blessed to have female leadership. And so my vice president, ever since I've been in this position, has been a female. My university president for the past 7 years was female. My director that I came in under was female. And so I really feel like I've had a different view on it than a lot of people, because here I see that opportunity for women in higher roles.
I have absolutely struggled as a woman to feel accepted in my field, especially as a younger woman, since international peace and security tends to be a male-dominated field. There have been times in meetings where I'm dismissed or my opinions are not taken as seriously. I've been asked to move to the back row because they assume I'm an intern. I've also gotten asked how I got a job at the UN and told I just must be very lucky. And yes, there's definitely luck involved, but I also got my university and master's degree in international relations. I've made deliberate career choices, and I've worked really hard. And I don't see my male colleagues getting asked to justify how they got their positions. So I've learned it's really important to stand up for yourself. I've also had some really strong female bosses who have helped mentor me and provide guidance on how to navigate being a woman in this field, and it's taught me it's really important to be an ally to others.
When you look at the 1970s or 80s dental school graduate, when you look at the statistics, it's more of men are the dentists who graduated from dental school at that time. But when you look at the trend right now, it's like 10, 20, maybe like 30 years. It's different. There's more women graduates, especially in the field of pediatric dentistry. I do see that more women are getting into this specialty.
At times, I think also as a woman, when you go through motherhood, very often your appearance becomes a part of the conversation, and that is always a challenge to navigate. And I have struggled at times and, really developed a strong voice for myself along the way.
I am regularly the only woman in a meeting. Sometimes I struggle to have my voice heard. I've had to say, hey, please stop interrupting me. I've had my judgment questioned. I've been told that I need to speak with a male colleague who actually reported to me because he is, and I quote, the data scientist. It's never easy to be a woman in a male-dominated field, but you find allies and men at the table who will make sure that your voice is heard.
If I have a daughter, what would be the number one thing I want to teach her? I think the most important thing is to feel empowered to pursue her goals, whatever they may be. I want her to know she's fully capable of achieving great things and to hold on to that self-belief, even if or when others will doubt her. And I want her to feel comfortable being bold and taking risks and to know it's okay to try things and to fail. Life and careers are bumpy roads. There's going to be some unforeseen twists and turns, and that's all okay.
You need to stand for what you believe, stand for your rights, and make sure you don't hide in the back. Stand in front and shine.
Speak up. Speak up in meetings, speak up in any issues that you have with your family, your friends, whatever it is, speak up. And if you feel like you fumbled the first time you really did decide to speak up, don't let it play over and over again in your head, because I've been guilty of that. Instead, have the courage to continue to speak up, because only then that you have the confidence and being intentional about it, that people know that you're a force to be reckoned with.
Know their self-worth. And know that they are worthy no matter what they have or do not have, or how they sound, or what they get as far as roles in shows. It all should not impact their self-worth.
So I do have 2 teenage daughters, and I would like to think that I've prepared them for the real world. The thing I say to them most often is to remember who you are. Never lose sight of the amazing and kind, smart, and thoughtful person that I think they are on the inside.
Nobody can control the story that you create for yourself and that you curate for yourself. And don't ever shape it to anyone else's desires or, impressions of what someone should look like. You get to control that and hold on tight to that.
I would want her to speak up, to use her voice, to feel empowered to use her voice, and not to be afraid.
I do have a daughter who is 10 years old. So the number one thing I would teach her is never be scared to say no. If you are in a situation where you know that it is not right, or if you see something that it is not right, and if you're in a situation where you are there, don't be scared to say no. You should always protect your dignity and integrity.
I hope that they remember that it's okay to say no, that disappointment is just a part of life, that they should always trust their gut, that they should always try to take the good advice, that they're never going to be perfect at everything, and that they absolutely deserve a seat at whatever table they choose to sit down at.
There are a lot of things. One thing I think is important is that people should stop assuming that all women are the same and that we have the same interests and goals. Women are not some uniform monolithic thing. There are young women and old women, there are white women and there are women of color, there are women born in Western countries and women from African and Asian countries, and we're all different. We want different things and we face different challenges and barriers. There's a lot of power in the collective group of women, especially when we're working towards something together, but there's also a lot of value in our diversity. So it's important for people to stop stereotyping women and to recognize and respect our different experiences, and then also for women to support and learn from one another.
That we all have a similar narrative, that we all want similar things, whether it's marriage or motherhood. I don't think that any of those assumptions are made about men, and I wish that we could change that. I wish that there is no path that women feel that they need to go down except the path that they want to go down.
It's that we are not all the same. You cannot put women into a category and say they're all this way or that. We are all incredibly different individuals.
I wish we could change the narrative that everything is emotional and that our decision-making skills are based on emotion, because I think that's definitely not always true. I do think that it's wonderful to be empathetic and to be able to take into account the feelings of other people, and I do think that women have a strength in that way, but I also think that they are completely capable, we are completely capable of being rational and acting without emotion being the leading factor.
Is that we can't simultaneously be professionals and be good mothers. Almost every mom that I know is also a professional, and they kill it in both being a mom and being great at their jobs. I think that it's an archaic notion, and hopefully we can help change that.
In general, I would want to teach all the young girls to make sure to pursue what their heart desires and work hard to succeed.
When people look at me, I want them to see that. I want them to know that age is not a factor. If you want to go back to school, if you want to study, yes, anybody can do that. So don't limit yourself. There is no limitations for women.
Women can achieve anything, anytime, any day. You just have to do it.
It's important that we all advocate for each other.
Just keep doing you and be proud of that.
You own your own narrative, always.
So feminism is not only the right thing, because women's rights are human rights, it's also the smart thing.